Hey everybody, it's Christine from Bend Yoga Center, and this evening's class is Chill Your Yin Yoga. This is a practice for all levels, and it is a fusion between Yin Yoga and restorative yoga. So get yourself ready, get your mat ready. If you have a couple of towels or blankets or pillows, you'll definitely need those. If you use blocks, have blocks. If you have a bolster, use a bolster for sitting up on. And if you can set yourself up against the wall, we're going to start against the wall. So make sure you have your mat against the wall or some back surface, okay? If you don't, that's okay too. You'll just practice where you're at, okay? So as always, just be sure that you are cleared by your physician to practice yoga and to do any type of exercise or movement, okay? I am going to use my phone in this video to track the time in each asana. So we will be in each asana for about 3 minutes. And so I'm not checking my email or my messages. So just know that I'm doing that. I have some notes because this is what I do. I keep all of my sequencing for these types of classes in my notes. So I'll be referring to those as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'd like for you to please start up against the wall. You'll have your mat against the wall, and then any blankets or a bolster that you sit on to raise your, elevate yourself off of the mat so that when you sit in a cross-legged position, your knees are in line with your hips or even lower. So you'll notice for this practice, I am sitting on a bolster, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and a little differently to begin today's practice. We're gonna start in our butterfly pose. And butterfly or Baddha Konasana in Sanskrit is the feet together, the knees nice and wide, and you can go ahead and lift up your buttock muscles away from your sits bones. And get your back up against the wall, and you want to feel your low back, the back of your buttocks, your low back, the entire back, and the shoulders against the wall. So if your shoulders are kind of rounding forward a bit like this, just want to kind of gently remind the shoulders to move toward the wall, and then gently take the tops of your shoulders down toward your waist, okay? We'll find a nice comfortable place for our hands, whether that's on the thighs, palms down, or palms up. And just kind of settle in here. Take the back of your skull, okay, that nice flattish part of your skull, and go ahead and rest that on the wall as well, and dip your chin slightly toward your chest. So now we're in this beautiful alignment of our spine. Close your eyes. And begin to connect with your breath. And when we ask you to connect with your breath, us yoga instructors or practitioners, it's this becoming aware of feeling how your breath moves through your body, through your inhalation, bringing the air in, and your exhalation, moving the air out. So just feel that in your body, where you are bringing air in and out of your body. You may have had a long day today. working, running errands, maybe hanging out with your kids because summer has started. So this is your time right now to just breathe. Close your eyes and breathe. See if you can relax your knees down toward the surface below. And now we'll begin to deepen our breath. So now that you know where you take your breath in, see if you can start a long, slow, deep breath at the base of your belly button. And then as if you're filling a glass with water, see if you can begin to fill your torso with breath, starting at your belly button and then moving all the way up, filling all the way up through the shoulders to the throat with air, and then in your exhalation, starting with the nostrils, it's like you're pouring your breath out of the glass, okay? Like the water from the glass. So you start with the nostrils, the throat, shoulders, the neck, moving all the way down the belly and the belly. Do a few more deep breaths like that, just calming your mind, calming everything that you might be feeling in your body right now. Soften your face. Soften your eyes. Just feel these beautiful, long, slow, deep breaths. If you're feeling particularly stressed today, you can always exhale a nice, long sigh. Let's take our last long, slow, deep breath here. And now let's return to our normal breath. Soft cheekbones, soft eyelids, soft shoulders. And now just begin to turn your head as if your chin just kind of being pulled from side to side. Just slowly move through the right side, turning the chin to the right. Try and keep your shoulders moving down toward your waist. And then drawing the chin, keeping it parallel with the shoulders, and drawing the chin to the left side. So just, wakening up our neck a little bit, allowing our neck to not be so stiff from today. And let's move through one more time, feeling the neck move. The head moves. And then bring your head to neutral. The skull is at the wall still. You're still in Baddha Konasana. Take a nice deep inhalation, broaden through the chest. And you might feel your shoulders press into the wall a little bit more. And on your exhalation, go ahead and as if you're pulling your chin forward and down. You have a string. Go ahead and draw the chin forward and then down. And allow the chin to move down toward the chest. Keep the shoulders moving toward the waistline. And just relax in this position here. Couple breaths, just lengthening through the neck, feeling all the neck muscles that are connected to the shoulder and the collarbone. And then take an inhalation, draw the back of the head onto the wall behind you. Go ahead and bring the knees together. And for this next pose, you can stay on your height, or you could go ahead and come off of your height if you're sitting on something. Take that away. We're going to bring our buttocks and low back against the wall and the back in general, okay? And this is where I'm going to start to use my timer for our asana practice here. So you want to, again, adjust the low back up against the wall. We'll take an inhalation and bring our right leg up, right knee to the chest, and then take your right foot and rest it to your left inner thigh, okay? Shake your left leg nice and soft so that you're nice and relaxed. Adjust back if you need to. And then maybe if your knee is coming up a little high, maybe you want a little support, so you could grab a block, or this is why I said have some towels or blankets. Maybe take a blanket just to support that leg, that right knee. And we'll take a nice deep inhalation here. Bring the arms up. And on the exhalation, we'll begin to draw our breastbone, so that bone right in front of your heart. We're going to draw it forward toward your left leg. And you're going to then allow yourself to just drape and round. When you've reached your breastbone as far forward as it's going to move, then go ahead and relax into this pose. You can grab your foot if you can reach it. You can rest your hands alongside your left leg. And we're just going to breathe here. So with your inhalation, you can bring space to whatever areas in this particular half butterfly, we call it, or Janushirasana. You can bring your breath to whatever tight areas you feel in this particular pose. So for example, I've started doing some interval running again, which has been a while for me. And I just have a little bit of tightness in my outer right hip. So what I'll do is I'll take a nice deep inhalation into that outer right hip. And when I exhale, I just imagine that space that's really tight. I'm imagining it softening and melting, if you will, just into the surface below. And I use that guided imagery with every breath. So as you stay in this particular pose for 3 minutes, it's going to be less than 3 minutes, only another minute left. You just keep breathing into the spaces that have tension. With the inhalation, you create space and bring healing and space. And with each exhalation, you loosen, relax, soften, let go. Keep breathing. If your mind begins to wander, which is completely normal in practicing yoga, you just use your breath to take your awareness to your practice. Okay? All right, let's take an inhalation and begin to press yourself up. Pause there with your back against the wall and just take a nice breath here. And these in-between breaths, see if you can just stack your spine in beautiful posture. Let's take an inhalation, draw the right knee up, release the right leg into extension. Take your support and bring it to the left side. We'll take an inhalation and we shall draw the left knee toward the chest. Take the left foot into the right thigh. So you're in this seated tree pose, right? And then again, go ahead and adjust your low back and buttocks against the wall behind you if you're using the wall. And then take your prop however you need it to support your knee. Okay, we use props in yin. Props are our friends. Take a nice deep inhalation here. Relax your right leg. Relax the left knee. And on your exhalation, try and pull your breastbone toward your right foot. Okay? So we bring it forward till we can't move that breastbone any more forward toward the right foot. When you find that you can't move the breastbone forward anymore, and you know, quite frankly, you might just be here if you have super tight hamstrings and tight back. You just find that spot where the breastbone stops moving forward for you, and then you allow yourself to just round out. Check in with your right leg, shake your foot a little, make sure it's relaxed. Check in with your left knee and groin, inner groin, and make sure that that's relaxed. Relax your head, your neck. And now here's where we start the breathing. And okay, I'm going to go ahead and say the corny thing. This is the magic of the breath in your practice, any yoga practice that you do. We use our breath to work into our asana, whether we're releasing and relaxing or whether we're strengthening in other practices that we do in asana. So the other option, we talked a little bit about using your inhalation to bring breath and space to those tight areas, and your exhalation to release and let go. The longer you're in a yin pose, which today we're doing 3 minutes on each asana, and each side. The longer you're in, you will find that you might have little tiny micro movements of deepening the pose. And that's the other way we can use the breath. So let me give you an example of that and how I work in my own practice. So in this particular asana, I'm feeling a little bit of tension in my left lower back where my hip is. I'll take an inhalation, creating space there. And on my exhalation, I imagine that area just softening. And I do that for a few breaths. And then I might find that I'm able to deepen in this pose because I've softened. So what I could do also using my breath is come up a little bit, lengthen into the pose and deepen into the pose by trying once again to move my breastbone forward toward my foot. And then relaxing over. And then just breathing here and working with what might be tight now. Inhaling here, it's creating and pulling my breastbone forward, exhaling, trying to deepen into the asana. Not forcing it. Okay, no violence, no ahimsa in your practice. Just soft, gentle breath working with the body. Check in with your neck, make sure you're not holding tension there. Check in with your face and your eyes. Check in with the left knee. See if you can soften your left inner groin to allow that left knee to move toward the mat and open up that left groin. Keep focusing on your breath. And let's go ahead and press up. Slowly and softly. Let's pause here. Bringing ourselves into a nice posture, just relaxing into a breath here. Take an inhalation. We'll go ahead and we will draw our left knee up. Extend the left leg out. Okay, maybe you need to shake it if you're a little stiff. Okay. If you have a block right now, just have it handy or your blanket again. We're going to go ahead and we'll move into Paschimottanasana. So forward fold, we'll take an inhalation, draw the arms up. On our exhalation, we'll begin to draw the breastbone forward just like we did before with Janu Sirsasana or half butterfly. We find where our hands can go and feel comfortable. Okay, maybe you want to walk your low back to the wall once again. Relax the feet. Go ahead and pull the breastbone forward for an inhalation. And on your exhalation, go ahead and drape over your extended legs. And then this is where you can use a block to support your forehead. Maybe you have a couple blankets or a pillow. In Yin, we actually call this caterpillar pose. So again, using the breath, where are your tight areas? Use your inhalation and exhalation to help you either move deeper in the pose or relax your muscles into the pose. Relax your face and your neck. Release your shoulders. See if you can allow your thighs to just sink deeper into the surface below. Go ahead and inhale. Use your hands to walk yourself back up. You're back against the wall. Release the legs completely. Bring yourself into beautiful posture. Dip the chin slightly. Take an inhalation and exhalation here. All right, we're going to press ourselves away from the wall. Bend the knees, bring the feet to the mat. And we're going to bring ourselves onto our back. And just pause here for a moment. You can maybe hug one knee toward the chest. Just take a breath here. And then hug the other knee to the chest, taking a breath here. All right, so now we have our knees bent, our feet on the mat. Let's go ahead and take the right leg, the knee to the chest. Bring the right ankle over the left thigh. Relax completely the right foot. And then on your next exhalation, keeping the shoulders releasing down into the mat below so your chest stays nice and wide open for breathing. See if you can softly guide and assist your right knee moving and leg moving away from your head, okay? So you're taking your right hand and you're assisting that right thigh, just gently pressing it to open the hip for this gentle figure 4 stretch on the back. So this is sometimes called pigeon, reclined pigeon. Try to keep your tailbone strongly working into the mat without forcing, and try not to force your right knee away from your face. You don't want to hurt any part of your hip area. Relax your face, your eyes, your chin. Bring your chin somewhat toward your chest, just so that you're aligning your cervical vertebrae. And again, we use our breath here. See if you can use your inhalation to fill the whole area of your hip. So that whole area below your belly button and to the hip crease. So all of that space in there, where your bikini or underwear space is, right? And that whole space. See if you can just fill that all with air. And then in your exhalation, see if you can really allow all that space to just relax. And you actually don't have to assist on this. You could just also just hang out here without using your right hand and just breathe. Feel the rise and the fall of the low belly as you create space into that hip area and release tension. And go ahead and release. Pause here, take a nice deep inhalation. Breathe into the entire width of your low back. And exhale the entire width of the low back. Let's do one more like that. We'll take a nice inhalation, draw the left knee toward the chest, take the left ankle over the right thigh. Go ahead and come into your figure four on the left side. You can use an assist or not, yogi choice. So when I teach class in the studio at Bend Yoga Center, I like to suggest colorful visualization as well in these yin and restorative classes that I teach. So what I'd like to offer to you is when you inhale, taking the most beautiful color, your favorite color, and inhaling that beautiful color into the space that we're working here. So the whole hip area. And then when you exhale, just imagine a muted gray, soft gray, any color that you associate with just color of maybe not your favorite, but just releasing like a color that you would associate with toxicity, right? So if it's a putrid green, whatever you think of when you think of something being toxic, right? And so the idea here is you inhale the beautiful bright color, which is all this beautiful breath that carries all this nutrients to the blood. And then in your exhalation, you're imagining the toxicity or tightness or injury or illness or whatever. You imagine that being a color and just dissipating, just leaving your body. So in these practices, you're also welcome to use colorful visualization with your breath. Keep breathing, my friends. We're almost there on this left side. And take a nice inhalation. Go ahead and release the left leg. Have the feet on the mat, the knees bent. Let's take our feet wide, our knees together. And like we did before, take a nice, long, deep inhalation to the width of the low back and exhale the width of the low back. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and bring our arms up above our head or in a cactus. Okay, so come into a cactus, if you will. And just like before, we're going to bring our knees wide and the soles of our feet together. So now, just like before, we did a Baddha Konasana at the wall. Now we're doing a Supta Baddha Konasana, which is a lying Baddha Konasana. And now you have your arms. The elbows are shoulder height and they're in a cactus or a U shape, if you will. Dip your chin slightly toward your chest. See if you can breathe all the way into either the inner groins or the open chest. So really feeling the sides of your ribs, your armpits. Just really expanding and breathing in all areas. So I'd like to start my inhalation all the way from my inner groins, creating space, and then moving all the way up to the tops of my armpits. And then exhale and surrendering all those spaces deep into the surface below. Soft face, soft eyes, soft cheeks. Try to imagine your eyes deepening down into the eye sockets. And in this pose, it's okay to feel your middle back coming up off of the floor as you inhale, and it having a slight curve as you exhale. Okay? Because you really want to, it's almost like you're arching your back just a tiny bit with your breath. And if you're taking deep breaths, you're really arching that back. And as you exhale, you're allowing the spine to just sink deep into your mat. Take a nice inhalation. Let's go ahead and use our hands to bring our knees together. And now here's where I like you to have a block, or if you have a pillow or a blanket or a towel, just fold it to a height that's kind of like the medium width of the block. So we'll bring our feet close to our buttocks. Our knees are bent straight up toward the ceiling. See if you could draw the knees together, pigeon toe the feet slightly. Take a nice deep inhalation and bring the block up under that triangle part of the base of your spine. So at the end of your spine, you have this triangle, this sacrum, okay? So it's right where you're, again, to bring your underwear into it, like right in the middle of your underwear in the back, okay? Now take your shoulders and shimmy them underneath your chest. So now your chest is nice and wide open. And now heel toe your feet out slightly a little bit more. See if you can lengthen your neck by taking the crown of your head toward the wall or toward the space behind you, lifting the head slightly and then dropping it down, slowly, softly, don't point your head. And then taking your chin towards your chest just to make sure you're nice and long through there. And now, my friends, this is where you get to just relax in a bridge pose instead of working it. Quite honestly, one of the most delicious poses ever, if you ask me. That's just my preference. For some of us, gosh, I hope it's not torture, but if this is feeling like too much, you can just reduce the height of your block, okay? And then for some of us, if you want to go up just a little bit higher, I never recommend doing the highest setting on the block for this supported bridge because, again, we're in this restorative state. So there's no need to work here, okay? So just breathe into the spaces that are open right now in this pose. And if you just open your eyes for a moment and look, you're going to see, your chest is right there, right? So that's a clue to the fact that that's where you're opening up, right? So maybe really work into the chest. Working by, what I mean by that is taking your breath into your chest, really feeling how you can breathe so much more with ease when you have your shoulders underneath your chest and your chest lifted. You have all this space. This is great for our posture, my friends. Okay, because a lot of us hunch over all day at our computer, or we're hunched over when we're sitting in the car. So this really opens up our chest, loosens up our chest muscles, and helps to tone and strengthen our upper back muscles and shoulder muscles that help us with our beautiful posture. Just keep breathing here, no need to work. Keep breathing. And then go ahead and take a nice deep inhalation here. Now, if you'd like to just come out and rest for a couple minutes, go ahead and come out and rest. But take the block out and slowly release your vertebrae one at a time. If you would like to open your fronts of your hips and get a nice psoas stretch here, which I love to do because that is one of your hip flexors that rarely gets any lengthening. You can go ahead and move into this bit of a back bend, and just breathe, 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 breathe into the front of the hips. Still keep your shoulders underneath the chest. Just breathe here. See if you can inhale into your hip creases and exhale, inviting all of the muscles, the tendons, and the ligaments to just relax. Release any grip they may have. Soften the eyelids, soften the cheeks. Imagine the eyes drawing deeper into the eye sockets. Check in with your shoulders. Make sure they're not hiked up in toward your ears, and pull the shoulders away from the ears and toward your feet, but still allow them to be shimmied underneath the chest. Keep breathing, my friends. Take a nice deep inhalation. Go ahead and bend the knees, bring the feet to the mat. Let's press into the feet on our exhalation. Lift the pelvis up, release the block from underneath, and slowly, 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 slowly come down one vertebrae at a time. Allow the entire back to move on to surface below. Okay, let's take your elbows slightly lower than your shoulders, and then allow the hands to come out from the elbows. Take the knees in toward the chest. Take a nice deep inhalation, and on your exhalation, draw your knees to the right side. Keep your left shoulder moving into the space below. And you may use your right hand to just assist with this lying twist. So now you have this whole left side of your body to create space, yes? So go ahead and see if you can bring your breath all the way from the outside of your left knee, moving up your outer left thigh, left hip, left buttock, left waistline, left rib cage, left armpit, moving all the way into the arm and just feeling space with your inhalation and relaxation with your exhalation. To increase the twist here, you can turn your left ear toward the mat. Bring your gaze to your left hand. Just feeling that nice lengthening in the whole left side of the body. Keep breathing. Take a nice inhalation. Slowly draw the knees up to center. Just pause here for a moment. Take the feet on the mat and just take a breath here. Go ahead and inhale. Bring the knees toward the chest. Take the knees on your exhalation to the left side. Allow the knees to come toward the floor. If your knees don't come toward the floor and your right shoulder is coming up off the floor, okay, you can use props underneath your legs. Okay, so like I have that bolster, I have a blanket, I have some blocks. If you have pillows or towels, you can prop up underneath your left outer thigh to give you more height so that your right shoulder still remains on the mat and you can engage in this twist, okay? Always, always, always options, right, friends? You take your left hand to your right outer thigh and just use that to guide the knees toward the mat. And now you've got all this space on your right side to encourage breath and space. So we'll breathe into the outer right knee, right thigh, right outer hip, right waistline, right rib cage, right armpit, moving all the way through the armpit and through the arm. Bring space to all those areas, and in your exhalation, encourage all those spaces to just soften, let go. You can take your right ear toward the mat, turning your gaze to your right fingertips. And then closing your eyes if you want to increase the twist. Our asana practice is a way for us to show self-love. If we are to truly and fully love others and be engaged in loving others, that love must first come from within us. And by doing our asana practice, by connecting our breath with our body, and just maybe if for a few moments you feel your spirit light and connected with the body and the mind, That's how we begin to peel the layers and really go deep within to find that innocent, pure light in our heart and love ourselves for all of that light, innocence, and pure love that we are. Keep breathing, my friends. Take a nice deep inhalation, bring the knees toward the chest. Now let's just roll from side to side with the knees and the low back. Connect the low back as you make circles with the knees. And then make circles the other way. And then just move in any way that you need to move to find comfort to come into. Your final pose for this practice, which is corpse pose or shavasana. So we extend the legs and to really feel deep relaxation, can maybe shake through your hips and your legs and your feet. So maybe shake the whole lower body. Just shake it all the way side to side and then just allow it to relax the whole lower body. We take one arm and we pull that arm away from the ear. And then we take the other arm and pull it away from the ear. And we allow our shoulders to gently release into the mat to open up the chest. We draw our chin slightly toward our chest to lengthen through the cervical vertebrae, which is our neck. And we breathe. And we start to do a body scan. Finding any areas that are still tense or gripping. We take our breath there and invite those places to simply melt into the surface below. No need to hold any tension or tightness. These last couple of minutes are meant for you to surrender. Your place of peace. With each breath, feel your body relaxing deeper and deeper. To bring awareness to this practice, your practice, to this space and this time, your consciousness. Begin with circling the ankles and moving the toes, circling the wrists and moving the fingers. We'll bend one knee at a time. Bring each foot to the mat. Roll gently to the right side, bringing the right arm overhead and resting our ear on that right upper arm. We pause here for a moment. Take the time for yourself to give yourself a nice, deep, cleansing breath here. Begin to roll more toward the right side. Use your left hand and your right hand and arm to press yourself up. Maybe grab your blanket or a block, or just come to any comfortable seated position. And we will take our palms together, sealed tightly. Right the thumbs at the breastbone. We'll draw our shoulders onto our back and move them away from our ears. We lift through the crown of the head and dip our chin slightly. Just relax the legs down. Take a nice breath here. I am so deeply honored that you have joined in this practice, this Chill Your Yin practice today. As we say in yoga, the light within me honors the light within each of you. Namaste, my friends. Well, if you have liked this practice and you want to continue to practice with Bend Yoga Center, I ask that you please subscribe and just do our videos, enjoy them, and be safe. And we'll see you next time.